All right, so today is a different type of video. It's gonna be about why I like Jennie and Rosé from Blackpink. And as a Twice fan, it's awkward. And my first video description is gonna be about Blackpink, right? I just think it's funny, whatever. But this is the stage in which I'm producing more videos, and I'm actually going through this Blackpink phase where I'm having this appreciation for them that I didn't have in the very beginning of my K-pop journey, and I got stuck between Jennie and Rosé. So I actually just want to talk about them and just share my process with them, because what I did is I put it through ChatGPT, because ChatGPT has this amazing profile of who I am as an individual. So I was like, yo, why can't I pick between Jennie and Rosé? And she spat out exactly what she knows about me. And I was like, oh, that's dope. So I'm gonna crop this into a video. So here's what we got. And it's very personal, guys. Look, I'm drawn to Jennie because she represents something I value, which is quiet strength, calculated presence. She's not loud. She's not trying to be liked. She just is. And that's the level of, and that level of self-assurance, that's something I gravitate towards in real life. It's how I move forward in the world. And if you guys watch my K-drama reactions, you know I like them types. You know I like the types. Her aura is controlled, it's intentional. She doesn't overshare or put everything on display, and I respect that. There's power in knowing when to speak and when to stay silent. That's the kind of energy I admire. Someone who is aware of their effect but doesn't abuse it. She moves with purpose, even when she's not trying to prove anything. And here's what gets me about Jennie. She's emotionally complex, but she doesn't lead with vulnerability. It's like you have to earn that side of her. That resonates with me because I don't trust easily either. I like people who are guarded, but deep when you finally break through. Jennie feels like someone who's been through a lot, but she doesn't use it to gain sympathy. She uses it to stay grounded. And performance-wise, she's sharp, she's focused, she's refined, and you could tell she worked hard, but she doesn't need to announce it. That's the kind of internal discipline mixed with how effortlessly she commands a room. That's what earns my respect. Jennie is the embodiment of control, elegance, and self-respect. She's someone I admire from a distance because she's earned that space. She's someone you admire from a distance because you have earned that space. So now I'm going to read Rosé's. And after I read Rosé's, I'm going to do the side-by-side comparison that we had for both Jennie and Rosé, and directly the attributes that was speaking to my soul. So Rosé, she hits completely differently. With her, it's not about power. It's about an emotional connection and raw authenticity. What makes her stand out to me is the way she expresses pain, longing, and hope through her voice. When Rosé sings, she's not just performing a song. She's telling a story that you feel she believes in. There's something spiritually heavy but beautifully vulnerable about the way she carries emotion, and I relate to that deeply. I can listen to her 3 a.m. song and still put in work in this bag. I don't even think it's a fighting song. It's just the way she makes me feel whatever it is that she's feeling, and I can put that in on my punching bag. I do boxing, by the way. She gets me to really feel what she's singing. She's someone who seems sensitive but not fragile. There's strength in the way she lets herself be seen. She's not trying to be perfect, she's just being real. And in a world that's always curating, that honesty is rare. Where Jennie is more guarded and poised, Rosé leads with feeling, and that contrast is what draws me to both. I admire people who feel deeply but don't get consumed by their emotions. Rosé gives me that impression of someone who's learned to live with her emotional weight without letting it break her. And that's the kind of resilience I respect. There's also that artistic energy to her. You can tell she's someone who thinks about meaning and about the why behind what she does. And that aligns with how I approach my own work and creativity. She feels like someone who creates to understand herself and the world around her. Rosé is the soul, emotional, artistic, heartfelt. She invites you with honesty, not just performance. Now, why do both of these women matter? Both of these women speak to different parts of me. Jennie speaks to the part that values strength and silence. The part that understands you don't have to be the loudest person in the room to have the most impact. Rosé speaks to the part that finds power in vulnerability. The part that knows sometimes the bravest thing you can do is let people see who you really are. One teaches you about the boundaries and self-respect. The other teaches you about connection and authenticity. And here's the thing, we need both those types of energy in our lives. We need people who show us how to protect our peace, and we need people to show us how to open our hearts. That's why I respect both. They're not trying to beat each other. They're not even competing for the same space. They're both just authentically themselves, and that authenticity is what makes them powerful in their own ways. It makes it very hard for me to choose. Now, this is the original draft in which ChatGPT was telling me why I'm torn between them. So for persona, Jennie, she's cool, composed, a bit mysterious. Rosé, warm, soulful, emotionally raw. Why it appeals to me. I love Duality. Jennie has that cold exterior with the fire inside. Rosé leads with the heart, but hides strength underneath. I'm drawn to both types. Stage presence. Jennie is dominant. Okay, she makes the room freeze. Rosé, ethereal. She pulls attention, right? Feels more spiritual. Why this appeals to me. I like iconic energy. Jennie's commanding energy hits my love for power. Rosé's aura taps my love for soul-driven characters. And it even refers to characters in my story and IU's in my notes. It knows I like her, right? So it can start picking up on attributes that have qualities like her. It's actually a very powerful tool. Anyways, now we're going into depth, backstory, vibed. Jennie, perceived as unreachable, often misunderstood. Rosé, often seen as soft, but her pain shows through her music. I connect with people who wear emotional armor, Jennie, and people who make sadness into strength, Rosé, right? Both appeal to my nature because I have like an internal struggle, so to speak. And I can see that in these two girls, but they are not struggling. They're almost like complete versions of the parts in my body that are wrestling. So if you were to think about it, it would be like having Jennie and Rosé put into the same body, and that would be me, but I'm less cool, right? I'm drawn to both of them, but I don't see how you could put them both in the same body and expect them just to do, you know? I feel like there'd be some type of, who are we? You know, an identity crisis. That doesn't happen as individuals. So style, Jennie, chic, minimal, dark glam. Rosé, vintage, dreamy, artsy. Why this appeals to me. My aesthetic taste leans towards sleek with philosophical edge. That's Jennie. But I admire the expressive creativity and vulnerability of Rosé. Definitely when it comes to style, Jennie's gonna get my attention more, but at the same time, I'm like, but Rosé's so cute. Look at that look that she got. My last one, interviews. Jennie, she's guarded, witty, clever, doesn't say too much. Rosé, she's reflective, heartfelt, talks through her emotions. I'm an ENTP, so I vibes with Jennie's wit, but I respect Rosé's transparency. I love someone who thinks deeply about how they feel, right? So that's that. And then I'm going to add something that is very scary. It was why I didn't fully connect with Lisa. Right? Even though she is what I perceive to be like the most popular and the one who caught my eye first, long leg Lisa. ChatGPT said about me, I'm intuitive, but I don't vibe with surface energy. Here's how it knew that Lisa might be too extroverted for me. Okay. It referred to some anime characters that I like, Kaiba, Vegeta, and I like them not because they're flashy, but because they're strategic, intense, and precise. Lisa is magnetic, lovable. She has this open book joy and high energy personality, which might come across as too exposed without that internal mystery that I enjoy deciphering. I enjoy trying to figure people out, which is exactly what happened with Jennie and Rosé. I'm like, yo, who are those two girls? Yo, what's going on here? I prefer emotional depth over crowd pleasing energy. And, you know, Lisa got that life of the party vibe, which is amazing. But I tend to favor people who reveal themselves slowly through their work, pain, or loyalty. I love duality and subtle rebellion. Lisa is just, she's very visible, very charismatic. She just catches my attention right off the jump. My ENTP craves a little bit of pushback. I respect people who hold their cards close, and I feel like Jennie does that. Rosé, it says, does that in her own way. Lisa, it says she's pure energy, always moving forward. While I appreciate the challenge of pulling layers out of someone. So Lisa is just a lot of woman for Lee, is what it's saying. Lisa is a lot of woman for Lee. She is charismatic. She is a life of the party. Everyone loves Lisa. She's a Lisa. And I like a little bit more reserve. I want to figure out. I like to see a little mystery. Now, if Lisa was in a K-drama, I would see how she is when she's not performing, hypothetically, and I would see this other side of her, and then it'd be like, oh, so that's the other side of Lisa. But through her persona, through her performance, it doesn't show me that side, you know. So I think that was interesting. Jisoo, I didn't really say much about Jisoo. I like Jisoo. I think she has a great voice and she's pretty. The reason why she never made it in here as far as the discussion point is, right off the jump, I was always drawn to Lisa. Then Bruno Mars came out with that APT song, and then I got drawn to Rosé. And I think I was also listening to Solo, but the point is, yes, I got drawn to Rosé. In the process of getting drawn to Rosé, I was listening to more Blackpink, and then I listened to more Jennie. I'm like, but I like Jennie. And then it just started shifting between Jennie and Rosé, where they were occupying my thoughts, and that's just that. But you can't have Blackpink without all four girls. I hope you understand that this is all respect. I just wanted to share something new, as this was my Blackpink journey into also becoming a fan of that group. And folks, nothing's changed. Yo, Jihyo was at a Jisoo concert, I think once, and Blink can be friends. So this is all appreciation. I don't think there has to be a rivalry, and I think it's fine that I'm a Twice fan, also appreciating Blackpink music. So guys, what about you? Are you drawn to quiet strength or emotional vulnerability? Do you respect people who are guarded? Do you prefer those who lead with their hearts? What is your thoughts in the comment section? Is there something that I need to be informed about that I was probably missing? Share anything in the comments. Let's keep it respectful. It says, you guys are part of the Blackpink fan base, right? Am I reading these women right? Am I completely off base? Can I trust what my ChatGPT knows about me as it's giving me recommendations? Anyways, smash that like button if this breakdown made sense to you guys. Subscribe if you want more deep dives into what makes people magnetic. And remember, authenticity always wins, except for when it doesn't, whether it's quiet or loud. Quiet! I'm out, guys. As always, thanks for supporting this channel. If you don't know, we do have a Patreon, and it's free to join. You can stay updated, suggest content, or vote on polls. If you're interested in our uncut and early reactions to anime, K-drama, Western shows, and movie reactions, which include exclusive reactions not found on YouTube, you can join the upper tiers on Patreon, or you can stick with the edited content right here on YouTube. We got Yaboyrocklee reactions also in the description of this video. Until next time, I'm out.